We are live.
We're live.
We're live. Quick, get the frame ready.
What are we live on?
Arty Time. It's
Arty
excellent.
Time.
I'm doing a
Arty
remix.
Time.
It's
Excellent.
excellent.
Here we go.
Totally excellent.
It is.
Okay, move it over this way so I don't have to move my frame.
Forward so we don't scratch the painting behind us.
Okay, we're a little crooked. Look at that. We're like whoa.
Whoa, it's like we're on a boat.
Okay, let me go fix that.
Yeah.
You start off Arty Time. Go.
Well,
How's it going?
It's not going good. The boat's sinking, man.
I know how to fix that.
It's going pretty awesome.
There you go.
Yeah. What's in the way there? It's the power bar.
Okay. Yeah.
We're still tilted, man. This is lame. You gotta fix
Really?
this. Yeah, bro. It's all.
It's because your boxes are tilted.
Yeah, I told you that I moved all the boxes since our last episode, and you'd have to reframe master it before we started. I guess you ignored all of that.
No, because this is Arty Time. It's done on the fly. I don't know if anyone has seen. It just said we have low battery. Okay, we're gonna have to make this quick.
Well, we're plugged into the power bar now, right?
We're plugged in. You just saw it. You just saw it on the side of the frame.
There you go. That old
Adam's new phone.
1982.
Adam's new
power
phone
bar.
can't even be left on 100% charge, alone in a room without dying.
Overnight, I don't use this phone for anything except Arty Time. It was plugged in this room.
It's a new phone.
It's a brand new phone. I literally have no apps on it. I don't even use it as a phone. I have a phone that's hooked up. So this is kind of the Arty Time phone that we leave here in the Arty Time room.
Mm-hmm.
Brought some friends in here to show some of my art to people. I unplugged it so I could show my blacklight, some of my cool blacklight stuff to people. It was 100% charged. I left it on this table for not even 24 hours. It's completely dead.
I don't know if we've ever talked about this. I think we showed it, eh? How Arty Time is made. It's made with a cell phone. We go live
On YouTube.
and it's propped up with
What happened there? What is that?
that's like RT. Like some sort of like they're sending us a message that they just released a new video. Russia today.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like we got kicked off and had to restart.
No, keep saying low battery, but I'm sure if it happens, it happens. It'll be
So
the
what were you saying? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Arty Time is made with a cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
We go live on YouTube. It's propped up on boxes and it's plugged into a power bar. If you've ever considered having your own podcast, you can.
You just need a co-host.
Not even. People have their own podcasts.
Yeah, but they're lame.
Nah, some people. You're right. Sometimes like it's better.
Imagine
to have,
Joe Rogan by himself without guests. Did you watch Joe Rogan talk to himself in the mirror?
Some people have their own shows and it's not the worst. Like think of that Irish guy, the Irish comedian that just rants in his basement and yells at his wife.
You're gonna have to be more specific. That's
Aw,
pretty much
come
every
on.
Irish guy, whether they're on a podcast or not.
Dude, he's. I think some people out there know what I'm talking about. There's a comedian who just does it by himself, and he's like, "What's in the news today? The blockade? Yeah, the blockade." Blah, blah, blah. And he just.
So he's Canadian.
Oh no, he's from Boston.
Okay, yeah, because you don't think he'd be talking about the blockade. Anyway, whatever.
That's
Okay.
Canadian topics.
What does this have to do with Arty Time? Where are we going with this topic?
Oh, we're going with the fact that there's a blockade in Canada, okay? And some people who are posting about it, and a blockade is like they're protesting, they're sitting on the rails. They got 12 people sitting on the rails. It's shutting down the whole Canadian economy, okay?
Yeah, because Canada's big, and like a lot of our freight moves by train instead of by truck or by plane.
Because the cities are far apart.
Yeah, so when people are blocking train tracks in between major cities, it makes it difficult for things like propane and some stuff that could fish, seafood from the coast to make it into the interior.
Okay, so get this.
Grain from the interior to make it to the coast.
Some people are posting on the Fastbook trying to explain why people are doing this.
Yeah,
Why
we're,
it's not
we're
the-
showing support for them. Okay, now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay,
And guess what happens? Adam, tell us what happens when you post on Facebook in support of the blockade.
Well, what I've seen a few people mention, Facebook algorithms when they've been posting certain hot topic keywords, I guess, is without notifying people, turning their post to private so that only that person can see the post and not even their friends can see the post. And they're doing it without telling people. So some people are posting for a month about this. Nobody's liking their posts. they're wondering why. They're thinking like, oh, all my friends that I thought they were supportive of these protesters, and nobody's clicking like. I guess they don't want their friends or family to know they're supporting this because their mom is working at this company that can't do business without this train's load of thing coming in, and like, nope, it's just because Facebook decided, fuck you, this is a topic we don't want people engaging on and complaining about, or having this side of the opinion expressed on Facebook. Because I've seen lots of posts about people complaining about it and saying like, these protests are illegal, we get it, but like, do it by legal means, don't shut down our economy, there's people's life stakes that are, livelihoods that are at stake, live stakes, ooh. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
So we bring up on Arty Time a lot the fact that these social media platforms want you to use them to promote, and they limit the amount of views you're gonna get, how much reach you can actually have to grow your business, to grow your brand, before they actually stop you and say there's a paywall now, and you're gonna pay us, or you're not gonna see any growth unless you're some sort of mastermind doing free giveaways, and even then we'll stop you. And this is just going to show that this is as ruthless as it gets when they set your own post to private without notifying you because
somewhere
the government
somehow
told them they needed them to silence these people.
Yeah, or this topic, or because their algorithm decided that other people that have posted similar topics are paying, so it assumes you should be, and if you're not, like, too bad.
So the point here is that, like, keep in mind that if you're on social media, that it's not true social media anymore.
No, not even close.
We need a new social media that's actually for the people. Right now, we're in some sort of bastardization of a corporate media that we make the content for, and they shove an ad every so often into it.
Yeah, it's literally like, imagine if you made TV shows and NBC sold ads on your show and you got nothing for it. Well, that's what's happening right now on YouTube on Arty Time. They're selling ads on our
There's ads channel. You watch it?
I don't think so unless we post it. But just YouTube in general,
of course, yeah,
is like making money off people that are putting content up for free. Their terms and conditions make it very difficult for content creators on YouTube to ever actually make money. Like we could have hundreds of thousands or maybe even millions of people watching Arty Time, but because we fucking swear, YouTube wouldn't pay us.
Get out of town.
No, it's part of their terms and conditions. Our content is not kid friendly, right? Because we say fucking shit and talk about drugs sometimes.
I guess it's a great way to sell an ad and then not have to give you your percentage.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good lawyer.
Yeah, it goes against their terms and conditions, which are, whatever, 3,000 pages of microprint that nobody ever reads, but
they keep the video up.
Yeah, but their lawyer. Well, yeah, of course they'll keep it up, and they'll monetize it for sure, like, unless you turn it off.
Okay, so look, we're in the dark ages of the internet right now.
Pretty much.
Okay, we're in the dark ages. It's hard. It's rough. It used to be great. It's probably gonna get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, 100%.
But you gotta stick it out as an artist. You got no choice.
You also can take steps like I did and join the new social medias, where what happens is, like, there's this one called Minds.com and this one called Steemit.com, and they're both relatively viable as social media platforms because things get posted and they get seen in people's feeds in chronological order. You can boost content that you get points for sharing content. When people upvote your content, you get points, and this is more on Minds than on Steemit. You get points. You can use those points to boost your content to new people so that you get new followers. It's pretty easy to grow your channel on Minds. I grew to like 30-something thousand followers pretty quickly. And like, I get more interaction on my posts on Minds than I do on Facebook most of the time. But most of the time I tell people about Minds, they join it. They don't see anyone they know on there really except me. They post 3 or 4 posts. They're not getting hundreds of people following them. They're on their Facebook they're getting 22 likes. On Minds they're getting 1. But it's like, you only made 3 posts. You didn't tell any of your friends or followers you're on Minds. You're not engaging with other people on Minds. Like Facebook, Facebook was a little different because most people had their friends and family on it already. Minds is like, in my opinion, it's pretty good. Their chat is encrypted, so you can talk about things without having your messages get blocked. You know, it's a little difficult to send pictures through their chat. That's the only thing that sucks. You can't really send pictures through their chat.
They don't have a big server yet.
Yeah, I don't know what their situation is, if they're going to be changing that or whatever. But, you know, it's definitely workaroundable. If you're chatting with someone, you go over their freaking page and, you know, you post pictures. Say, hey, I'll post my pictures in this little comment section of
the
your
point
post,
is that
whatever.
it's important to be out there on the internet. There's also the strategy of posting on Pinterest. You post on Pinterest, then Google search engines will find you.
LinkedIn's
so if you have
one.
good search terms, like if he was posting on Pinterest with mandala, anybody who Googles mandala art, he'll start popping up on the search engine. I know some artists that did that, and I've done it too. You get quite a bit of unique views every day. You know, hundreds of unique people who find it. Now, are these people actually going to do the extra step and actually connect with you? It's the internet.
It's
probably
a little
not.
harder on Pinterest, I find, to like build connections and relationships just because of the format. But maybe it's also I don't spend a lot of time on there.
It's a 7-hit marketing strategy, though. It's like they'll see it, they'll be like, "That's nice." They'll move on and do some more interneting. But maybe down the line they'll see it again and they'll be like, "Oh, I think I saw that somewhere." And that's ultimately what you look for.
At the end of the day, being an artist is no different really from any other kind of business. Your branding is important, and as an artist, your branding is your art. The more eyeballs that see your art, wherever they see it, for the most part, you know, you don't want them seeing it at garage sales and thrift stores too much. But, you know, if they see it on the internet, whatever social media they see it on, if they see it on Minds, if they see it on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, whatever they're watching you on, YouTube, it's better to be on more platforms than less, I think. I mean, obviously, there was a time when it was better to master one platform and, like, learn how to use that one, build your audience on that one, but it's so hard to grow an audience on most of these platforms now that it's almost easier to put an account on another platform that has other people on it, and you build a new audience on another platform, even if it's small, add up 8 audiences from, you know, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Minds, whatever, LinkedIn. LinkedIn's getting pretty big for art, and it's becoming a little more like a social media motions on there and stuff. But you know, when obviously artists aren't the only small businesses that got screwed by Facebook's algorithms. So a lot of small businesses, you know, started saying like, you know, screw it. There's thousands of millions of people on LinkedIn. I'm going to start promoting on here. And then like other small businesses were like, yeah, man, why not? And like now it's kind of used more for promoting your business, your wares, whatever you're doing, whatever you're selling. It's not just about finding a job. It's about building your brand so that say one day down the line you do want to hire people. Okay, well now you built your brand for years on LinkedIn. People on LinkedIn know who you are. You're going to have more people want to work for you.
This is where I want to move the conversation to, is that there was a time when it was a gold mine. And when you're mining gold, you rarely leave the mine.
Yeah.
You're there chipping away constantly.
Yeah. It's all about getting dirt through the sluice.
But right now, it's a lead mine or worse. So, yeah, you need some lead, okay? You need to go in that mine every so often and do your posts on social media. But nowadays, you need to focus more on the other things that build your brand, which is mastering your craft, building your technique, and also, I would argue, making longer format content.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned TikTok and the way things are going. TikTok, I find, is for babies. It's a dumbed down version of social media.
That's what Instagram was compared to Facebook.
Yeah, it's like they're removing the amount of words, the amount of content that you can actually tell a story with. And TikTok, it's basically like people singing the things. It's quick. It's stupid. There's not even like you're not even reading half the time, and it's frivolous content. Just
frivolous.
Frivolous. So
frivolous.
So you don't necessarily want to put your eggs in that basket because your art isn't half-assed. Your art takes time, so master it. Like you said, if you want to master it, know that it is stupid content and make the stupid content.
But it's not only stupid content. Maybe the content you see is stupid content. There's also content of like the quick slideshows of progress shots of a painting.
Well, that you
can't tell.
That's what I'm saying.
If you're gonna master it,
if you're gonna master it, know what it is.
At least on TikTok for now, if you tell a story on TikTok, however you tell it in your little sound bites or whatever, from what I've read about it, I'm not on TikTok. I don't like doing videos unless I'm sitting here with Germ on Arty Time.
It's highly visual.
It's mostly videos, right?
Highly visual.
Short videos.
Yeah, so you want fast cuts. You want a lot happening, a lot of content being distributed fast.
You have to tell your story quickly in abbreviated fashion, but if you're doing visual stuff, like for example, one thing that worked really well for me for a long time was sharing progress shots of paintings.
Yeah.
So, okay, now you can do that on TikTok again, and your followers will see that. If I try that on Facebook nowadays, Facebook shows it to people, like my last picture might come on their newsfeed before the first one, and vice versa, or they might not even see any of them. You know, I don't know. It's impossible to tell. So like it's not in chronological order anymore. And even if you go to your friends' feeds, like at least when someone used to go to your wall, what was on your wall was on chronological, but not anymore, and it hasn't been for a long time.
Really?
Yeah, it's the most popular last post of the month or whatever that are at the top of your posts or whatever they decide people want to see. And it surprised me because I actually found this by like, you know, somebody wanted to see my art and I was telling them where to go find me on Facebook, and I'm looking over their shoulder as they're looking at my profile on Facebook. Everything, like stuff I posted 2 weeks ago is at the top, and stuff I posted today is literally like 8 posts down.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So,
where I was headed with
this, TikTok, at least from what I understand, as long as people are following what you're doing and like they can see that in chronological order, and they won't block and mix it all up to make it almost impossible to tell a story that makes sense.
I've been making content on the internet for over a decade, okay? And I'm going to tell you that if you want good marketing advice when it comes to making content on the internet, it's make a long format video, okay? Make it for YouTube. Once you had said long format video, you splice it and you make a trailer. Those things you use for TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. That's the best tactic, because you want people to actually invest in you. If they're going to invest in your art, they're going to need to invest in you as well. So by having 10-minute videos where you actually divulge who you are and you're not rushed, that's what you need to make.
Oh, bro.
And then
speaking of that, I got to get out of here, man.
You're rushed?
Yeah, Arty Time's done for tonight. Sorry,
okay.
Peace.
That's all right. We had low battery anyways. See, Arty Time is that. Arty Time is that real hour-long, you play it, you listen to it, and we can become part of your life.
We should really perhaps think of investing in hiring someone on Fiverr to watch our videos and make us a couple of memes and quotes and shit like that we can both use on our social medias.
Yeah,
separately. I mean, it would probably cost us what, $100 a month each to have somebody do the 3 or 4 or 5 episodes.
But see, that's what I'm talking about, is that you make this long format video, and if you have the time, you're the one splicing it. If you're not, you're paying someone else who could use a leg up, and they're willing to do it, and that gets you that content for those other flivorous websites.
Gary V specifically mentions this, and it's a genius plan, because like, say for example, you have a really good soundbite or something some really cool interaction that took 15 seconds between me and Germ where this pearl of wisdom came out. You don't, like, that might be valuable to people without the other 59 minutes of the episode, just that little 2 sentences or whatever. So,
and advertises the show too.
Yeah, and like it can be done a couple of things, like a still shot of me and Germ here with a quote pasted over at a meme, you know, shit like that, like you know, replace my head with Wayne and him with Garth or vice versa.
And it doesn't need to be a podcast. It could literally be you're painting your painting. Let's say you're an artist, okay? You're painting your painting. You take a far shot of where you are. You're in your house, in your studio, painting your painting. Next, do a progress shot, you know, a pan of your painting. Then go to a medium shot of you and start talking about the painting that you're painting. Okay? Now, don't worry about the content being amazing. Take your time and really talk about it and tell the story. Eventually, once that video is done, you could take those 2 opening shots, cut out into the medium shot speech into something that you really thought was interesting, and then export that video. Well, and this can all be done on your phone, okay? If you have a phone, the app is called InShot. 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 That's one of the greatest apps that I have on my phone. It edits videos. You can put multiple videos in and trim them and add music and add commentary. It's a video editor for your phone. If you have that, you can do the long format videos. You can then start splicing the long, short format videos all from your phone. And your phone films, audios.
See, if you're like me,
everything.
like I'll be honest with you, he lost me. He's the frame master, man. I leave my phone on the table and it goes dead. So like,
but you owe it to yourself to start learning some of these things.
Sure, and that's where I was going with that. Like, look, a lot of the stuff that I'm nervous of and afraid of and whatever, like, it comes a point in a business where like you can either learn it or pay someone else to do it if it needs to be done. So there's some things I really don't enjoy. I personally rather pay somebody to do some photography for me. I hate it. I'm not good at it. I don't enjoy it. I've tried, I've read about it, I've looked it up, I've tried to learn it, I've watched videos, like I got a little bit better, but there's people that just have a natural knack for it, just the way I have a natural knack for painting and playing guitar, that this person that makes great photos all the time. One of my friends, Sean, I mean, he's just, his whole family, they're just born photographers. They take a picture of a puddle and it looks like it could be fucking on an art gallery fucking thing. You know, they just have the knack. They just know what angles look better. That I don't know. I don't have the knack. It bothers me. I've tried learning. There's a few little tips and tricks I've learned. Like, you know, a couple little things like to get a nice shot. Like one little trick I learned: if you have a small thing that you're trying to make a product shot of, you can put a piece of paper and curve it in the back, and put your thing on there, and then it won't have any seam in the back. Like there's no.
Yeah.
No, like if you put it on a shelf, there's no corner. So I took a couple of times I took some really nice product shots that way. But like, I'll be honest, like I had to watch a whole video, set up the little thing. It kind of only works with little tiny things. Most of my things are bigger than that.
But you could set up a tripod or some sort of mount where your camera's going to sit. That's just a wide shot of your studio that you sit in. You know, don't give yourself too much headspace, because right now we have too much headspace, if you ask me. But, you know, it's still a nice thirds. You have a lot of paintings. That's what helps. You have very nice paintings in the background. Okay, my point being is you would get this wide shot of you working. You don't need to do other shots. Okay? You really don't. When I was talking about the far, then the medium shot, you don't have to. You could just have one wide shot, and you'd walk up to the camera and show the close-ups. I mean,
how many people watch Bob Ross? What was Bob Ross? For the most part, Bob Ross...
It was a steady shot.
It was a lot of it. I mean, there was some tight coming-ins.
But you could go close to show the tight come-in.
Yeah.
I know some old guys on YouTube that are like 60. Their channels get tens of thousands of views, and they don't change the shot. They're old men about it. They press go on their camera. They even don't even edit. They press go, and you see them press go, and it's exactly like Arty Time. You literally see them walk away from the camera and sit down. But if they're interesting and they have a passion for what they're doing, who cares?
They'll find.
Who cares? They're interesting.
I mean, yeah, you have to get it out there to find the audience. But once you have a little audience, a lot of times they'll tell someone else, and then that little audience might grow. And you know, hopefully, like word of mouth is the best, because like the ideal thing is to make content that's so engaging or enlightening or educational or entertaining that people are telling people about it off of social media. When they're sitting together, they're saying, hey, go check out this guy on social media. So that's how you get a new follower. It's hard to get a new follower by people sharing your content on social media. But if they're sitting on a couch together and saying, hey, check out this dude, Jeremy makes me laugh every day. Fuck, look at this guy, Peter Parker, ha ha ha. Like, that's going to get a new follower.
Yeah. I'm doing the free giveaway. I think that over the course of doing 7 of them, the 7-hit marketing will be more of a tidal wave. Once the people have entered the giveaway multiple times and their audience keeps seeing that person share, I think that's when they're going to cue in that, like, because I've seen people come into my page. I see definitely there's a way more of an influx of people checking out my page and people messaging me, asking me what this page is all about. Some of these people, I don't know what their deal is. It's like one guy in particular won't stop asking questions but not being specific. So it's like, what's this page about? I'm an artist. Okay, but I don't understand the story. What story in particular? You know, like what the hell am I supposed to How am I supposed to answer this guy?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, oh, the Tims, you know, like me blocking the Timmies. Maybe he's American. He doesn't understand the joke of blocking the Tims. But either way, it doesn't matter. Just enjoy it.
Or
Stop
don't.
asking so many questions, or don't.
Yeah.
You can't expect to understand everything at once.
Mm-hmm.
Like just come into a fucking physics class and be like, what? Tell me all the formulas right now, and I must understand them. You're not, bro. You're not gonna get it.
Like if you started tuning into Arty Time right now, you wouldn't know that we're talking about aliens and cowboy boots. But if you rewind 5 minutes, you'll realize how we got here from there.
Yeah. I'm gonna use that as the promo. That's so good.
There you go. Fucking edit that. I guarantee you we'll have more people watching this episode than any other episode.
Well, like fucking aliens and cowboy boots. Okay, sure. I'm in.
I'm in too, bro. I'm posting it in the UFO groups.
There was an episode with the Chris Dyer where we're like, oh, we're gonna read the Chris Dyer's comment on air. That was strictly for promo. That was so that I could cut that up outside. Well, once it's done, film it on a computer or whatever, and post it on my stories, and that's sensational. People want to know, oh, did they really say something mean about Chris Dyer? And that would cause people to be interested in the show. So when you do your long format video, keep in mind that you do want to do your promo. You know, have it in mind when you start, like, okay, my promo is going to be when I pick up my canvas, my other done canvas.
P.S. All these paintings are for sale.
You know what I mean? That could be the promo. You're working and you're like, oh, I'd like to stop at this moment and just let you know that all these canvases are for sale. So if you're interested, hit me up. Make sure you watch this week's episode. It's live on YouTube. And you go back to painting. If you have that in your mind that you're going to do that at one point, you have your promo. And it's a 2-for-1 stone. Instead of just like coming here and talking about your canvas and then that's it, you need to.
Well, it also like
think about it. So many people are making the frivolous content that if you make the bigger content, you're a big fish in a small pond.
If you've watched a lot of episodes of Arty Time, you've probably heard me mention many times that a lot of it comes down to branding and consistency. If you're doing something that I don't like, it doesn't mean that no one else is gonna like it. Like if you're doing it consistently and with passion, you have a brand going on where you're talking about the same thing or a topic or whatever. Like it's kind of about branding. Whatever topic you're talking about, whatever art you're making, whatever theme your podcast or whatever you're talking about, man. It's like it's sticking to it and building a reputation in that sphere. And that's what grows an art career, is maintaining the course. It's not changing all the time. It's maintaining the course. And I mean, Germ changes all the time, but not really, because that's Germ. Changing all the time is what he does, and there's a lot of common threads that flow through all the things he does. So, he comes up with a new style of art. And he'll tell her, I'm doing this new style. And like, it is a new style. It's different from anything he's done before. But it's not a new style because it's Germ on his story, on his Instagram, with his voice, presenting it to you in his funny street art way. So there is a continuity from it because it's still the same guy showing it to you in the same kind of way. Or creating a new character to show it to you with, but then coming back to the same Germ, it's like a actor on a Saturday Night Live that's always playing different characters.
Yeah,
but like you're still watching Saturday Night Live.
Did Jim Carrey play the same character in every single movie? No, he's not Adam Sandler.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. Kevin Bacon. There's a whole bunch that play the same fucking actor in every one. But the favorite ones, they can switch it up. Urban Golf was a good one.
Oh, you're Urban Golf.
Urban Golf champion,
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with art other than the fact that it's interesting and it is
art
in the sense that
it honestly, becoming the Urban Golf champion was part of the way you got Canadian famous.
I think so.
It's like being Canadian famous, it's like you reach a certain level and like bang, all of a sudden.
That's exactly how it happened. I retired.
Yeah.
I achieved everything. I was Canadian famous. I retired, and then what is there left to do but golf? Yeah. And then I became the best urban golfer.
Mm-hmm. So
I don't know if you were pulling my leg there, but that's actually exactly
no, I know.
how it
And now
went.
you're like the best artist in Montreal, according to a pretty important person.
Yeah, another Canadian famous.
You wanted to talk about that on Arty Time, but I know one of our viewers was specifically expecting us to talk about it on Arty Time.
So I've been making a new TV show. Whatever, it's not really a TV show. Whatever, a show. It's called Germ D's Living Room because I got my living room back. I actually got rid of a whole bunch of... Over the course of the end of last year, I was able to minimize the amount of boxes that I had in my house by limiting the amount of shirts that I was selling. Okay, so I got tired of selling so many different types of shirts and the boxes overloading my living room with the size smalls to the size double XLs that I wanted to just limit it to 2 types of shirts. So I slowly sold off all the stock and then only have 2 types of shirts. I might have 4 in the end. I might stick to 4 types of shirts.
You're going to end up with a living room full of boxes in 6 months.
Probably a bedroom full of boxes. No, it's a bedroom full of boxes. Now he has
room for more boxes.
But I know... No, but I wanted to have a living room again, and I made a living room again. Now that I have my living room, it's a set for a new show. It's called Germ D's Living Room, and it's a chance for longer format video where I actually just sit on a couch for the big meat of it, and I just rant. I rant about something. And then I make a beginning and an end, and I make it have a nice little punch that I can use for my Instagram stories. My point being is that the episode today had a cameo from Bret the Hitman Hart. And this is important in any business, is to have someone who's established in society to shout you out.
It helps.
Definitely to be like, hey, fucking this guy. Hey.
Yeah, I remember, like...
What do books have in the back? You know? Bestseller on fucking...
Yeah.
New York Times, bestseller. They have it on the cover of a book to let you know somebody signed off on this. You could read it.
Yeah, I remember the first time Chris Dyer shouted me out in like 2014. He didn't tell me before, and like all of a sudden I got like 300 friend requests, and I was like, "What the hell? Did Facebook have a glitch or something? What is going on?" And like it took me a little while, like 30-40 minutes, to figure out what happened. Like Chris shouted me out, and you know, gave me props for you know, having used to been his client and being a drunk and a, you know, pretty much a walking wreck of a human, but like he was grateful for my support, and he was pretty impressed that, like, you know, I sobered up and was kind of making a living as an artist myself now. So like he shouted me out, props for that, and it resonated with a lot of his fans, and it was a pretty awesome introduction to the art world. And then also through that, you know, I went to Chris's workshop at COSM, Chapel of Sacred Mirrors, which is Alex Gray and Allison Gray's, you know, I don't know what, their museum, their bed and breakfast. It's a very unique place, but it's awesome. They're in a lot of workshops there and stuff. It's a super inspiring place to go for any kind of artist. But you know, through having met Alex and Allison Gray a few times, eventually they wanted to carry some of my products in their store at COSM. And COSM, if you're in the visionary art world, is kind of like Mecca. So like when I was able to tell people that my silk scarves were being sold in that gift shop, it gave my whole art career a stamp of legitimacy that couldn't come from anything else.
But don't you have a picture of like Alex Gray holding one of your pieces too?
Yes.
Okay, so that also is
I have 2 pictures of Alex Gray holding different pieces.
So that's a stamp.
Yeah.
That's a stamp of approval.
It is, but it's not the same stamp of approval as having my stuff be approved to be sold in their store. I've literally been there when artists who are way more established than me and have got the degrees from the schools and this and that and the other thing, and they come with their products and they're like, here, you know, I don't even want to sell them. I just want to donate them to help COSM. And they're like, we have a process for this, like submit it to the store manager, and sorry, it's not time to talk about this. But Allison literally came right up to me and said she wanted my products in the store. Like that.
Well, there's never too many stamps of approval.
That blew my mind.
There's never too many stamps of approval in the passport of life, okay? Or the passport
No, I know. I'm just like,
business.
In my art career, that was one still stands out in my mind. Meeting the president of Costa Rica and having Allison Gray say, you have this in silk scarves? And I said, yes. She says, do you have any with you? I said, yes. She said, sure. And I 3 floors of stairs up to the top flight, and I never ran so fast in my life, and I had IBS still, so I was like, I was out of breath, all sweaty when I came downstairs. I'm like, Like, I had to stop for 2 minutes to catch my breath before I actually went to see her, just peek in the window. Okay, she's still there. I can catch my breath. All right, go. Now I can talk. Mm-hmm. But, like, that's one of the most exciting moments that ever happened to me in my art career. It happened because of a shout out that Chris gave me, kind of. Like, that connection. They knew that Chris respected me as an artist. They respected Chris as an artist. It kind of kicked up the path. And then I was also going to other workshops with mandala workshops with Rosie and Mike, Dr. Mike. They run the mandala workshops, and Rosie's actually like one of the board members of COSM, so she was talking about me too. And so it was amazing. Like, I'm going back in May. I can't wait to hug everyone there again. Mm-hmm. It's just like, it feels like family. It feels like I'm home when I go there. It's like I'm visiting old friends and family. And
now look, the stamp of approval doesn't need to necessarily come from someone that's more established than you. Someone who has bought your T-shirt. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say someone sends me a picture of them rocking the T-shirt. If it's a decent picture, okay, and most people take a decent picture. We're in that age where they're taking a decent picture of themselves, you know. Mm-hmm. But even the candid ones where they're in a mirror taking it, mm-hmm. that's a stamp of approval. Mm-hmm. You post that, okay? You don't like openly post the selfie in the mirror of a grimy bathroom mirror on your timeline or something like that. But in Instagram, you have stories. You could always like, let's say you flash a couple, or you make a collage with a whole bunch of them. Mm-hmm. When someone sees this, they're basically seeing that someone has already purchased. In the real marketing sense, they're using like hot girls and hot guys to perform that tactic. Mm-hmm. You don't know who that person is, but they have sex appeal and they like the product. Mm-hmm. So the person doesn't need to be famous, and I would argue the person doesn't need to be sexually attractive. It really
depending on what you're trying to sell, it doesn't even have to be a person. It can be a dog.
A dog is
like
also
a tree.
Yeah, but the stamp of approval comes from the fact that if someone's holding your canvas.
Yeah, but like, say for example,
there seems to be a sale happening. That's the storyline and the narrative.
But say for example, somebody has a big painting and they live alone and they want to take a picture of it, and they take a nice picture of it placed nicely in their garden. It's got a nice background with flowers. They take a great fucking picture, but they're not in it, and they post it on their social medias. That's a stamp of approval without the person having.
Yes, but it's a weaker stamp of approval.
It can be, but
because I don't know if you took the picture or not. People in the art world, if they're following
I don't know, but I don't care if they took it or not. I care if their friends see the picture on their timeline with my tag. That's all I care about. In this situation,
you're writing, I sold this piece, da-da-da-da. You're creating the narrative through text.
Oh, you mean by on your own? No, I'm talking about on their profile.
Great on theirs.
People show.
I'm talking about when you get it back.
Okay.
When you get the footage back.
Okay.
People who are following you don't necessarily always have the money to support you. But what they will do is when you have a sale that has happened, they'll smash that like button more than they've ever smashed it before to show their support. Mm-hmm. So when you have someone holding a painting and you and that person are holding that painting, that picture is worth gold. So when you sell a painting, make sure you get that golden picture.
So I feel like we glossed over the fact that you have Brett the Hitman Hart on your Instagram stories right now.
Yes, I have Brett the Hitman Hart. He'll be on my timeline too because he's golden for me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But my point...
I'm pretty impressed with it.
Finish
your point.
I also got Adam to do his theme song on guitar.
Well, that was pretty awesome. Like,
You learned that song in 10 seconds, not even.
It was also funny because, I mean, you know, you reached out to Rush. They don't perform anymore, so they needed another Canadian famous musician to go with the Canadian famous artist, the Canadian famous wrestler, and I was number 2 on the list. So it has nothing to do with the fact that, you know, Germ's here chilling with me all the time. No nepotism involved here. Strictly guitar skills.
You're amazing at guitar.
I've literally been playing guitar almost as long as Jimi Hendrix was alive. I'm not going to agree necessarily that I'm amazing, but I'll say I was fucking a lot better than I was 10 or 15 years ago. And that comes with 30,000, 40,000 hours of practice. That didn't happen overnight. Sometimes people, they write to me and they're like, oh, I need you to show me that scale. And I'm like, bro, I can show you that scale, but unless you play it for 10 years, you will not be able to play it like that. Just straight up. You won't. Your muscles won't go that way. Your eyes won't know where all those dots are. And like, you just won't. Maybe you will if you just do that scale for a year. But like, you know,
the same can be said about composition and painting and stuff like that. You gotta put in the work.
Building a career.
But I would like to just finish the point of the importance of having the golden picture or the golden shout outs. When you sell a product, if you have a chance, make sure you take a picture. Okay, if you're doing a booth, and there was a time I did a booth at Foofs, and it was going so well that day. I was selling a lot of original art. I wasn't taking a picture of everyone who was buying a shirt, because that was just too many. But when people were buying original art, and it's not every day that I sell original art at a booth. I'm usually just using it for advertisement. But they were buying the advertisement. I took a picture of all those people. And the storyline that went with it was amazing. Like, I'm here playing golf at this thing, and then next thing you know, it's just this person bought, this person bought, this person bought, this person bought, this person bought. Yo, you're sitting there watching this going like, holy shit, this guy is crushing the game.
So let me ask you, was that like a golden picture, a golden post?
It was a golden
picture can turn into a bunch of people buying stuff, so it can turn into a golden shower. Would you agree?
Yes.
So you'd agree that sometimes
they're raining gold on you.
Sometimes you'd agree your clients give you golden showers.
All the time. All the time. I'm drenched in the golden shower.
Ryan, this one's for you.
But my point being is that when you sell a piece, don't be shy. The people people who buy it from you also want that shout out, just like he wanted the shout out from Chris Dyer. There's something cool about it also comes with what do you call it?
It also came from the fact that I freaking bought almost $10,000 worth of Chris's art.
But if Chris posted on his thing with you holding the canvas that you bought, that's something, right?
It is, but if Chris didn't know me and we didn't have built that relationship, that never would have happened.
But it doesn't matter. If you just met him, you bought the piece, and he posted it, and it's you holding the piece, and you screenshot that, there's a word for that.
Oh, provenance?
Yeah, that's a type of provenance.
Yeah.
For the person who bought it.
Yeah, for the person who owns it.
Not only do they have the signature on the back of the canvas, they literally have the picture that the artist took, and it's on their page and timestamp screenshot.
Yeah, I mean, literally, that's great, but so all those timestamp shits on MySpace, nobody goes to MySpace anymore. It's really, like, the best thing you can do for provenance, and here, the word provenance...
No, you print it out and you put it on the back of the painting.
No, but the best thing is to have a picture of you and the artist holding the painting together. Yeah. Because that proves without a shadow of a doubt that there was a direct transfer of that piece of art from the artist to the buyer, and here's the piece of art. If it's the piece of art in question, here's a picture of both of us. You can examine it close up, zoom in. Is there any differences? Is it a fake? No, it's the same one. Every single brushstroke matches.
You can't expect the client to demand that type of provenance. As an artist, you should seek out to give that to them. That added
as much
benefit.
as possible. Obviously, if you're shipping a painting around the world, you're not going to go fly it to them. But
you could also be like, hey, when you get it up on a wall, could you send me a pic? Just by asking, you never know if the person has the dopest living room or something like that. No, they might fucking have a shit situation.
They might take a picture of it in their bathtub unwrapped with all the bubble wrap and cardboard ripped around it still.
Yeah, and that might be a dope shot too. You never even know. But it's a shot in the dark. You should take it. Okay? Because it's worth it. You never know. You don't have to post it. You get to look at it and you get to make the choice. But if you don't ask, you're not going to get the opportunity to get a golden shower.
It's amazing. You know, there's a lot of things that we talk about that honestly I'm not doing a lot of the things we talk about these days. I don't really have the time. One thing that we talked about earlier in the series of podcasts is that you can't expect to make a full-time living working as an artist if you're not working as an artist full-time. So, like, there is a lot of truth to that. The more time that you're able to dedicate to your art career, and especially the marketing end of it, and getting out there and meeting people and networking, ideally you spend at least 50% of your art career time doing stuff like that, not painting or making art. Because that's where the brand comes from. That's where the sales come. The sales come from the networking and the marketing and taking videos and posting on social media and going to events and meeting people in person and shaking hands and approaching galleries and meeting other artists, and you know, that's where sales come from. And if you're not doing that, and you can make the most amazing art in the world and none of it'll sell. Thankfully, I spent 5-7 years doing that full time, where I have a certain reputation that People who've been following me for a long time understand where I'm at and why I'm there. They know. They used to see 300 likes on my posts and now they're seeing 30. They know. They know that, like, man, it's hard. I'm struggling. And, like, it took some of the fun of it away. It was always a struggle. It was stressful. So now I'm not feeling stressful. I'm having more fun in life. And I'm making big paintings like the one behind me and the one that I finally finished over in the other room that used to be behind me. I'm working on another pretty big one. I've been painting, like, you know, larger canvases in this new style that I can finish a bit quicker so I can still make a steady stream of art throughout the year. And keep creating new stuff to share. And keep hosting Arty Time. And, you know, even though some of the things that I'm talking about right now, I'm not necessarily doing them, it's pretty rare that things come out of my mouth that I never did, that I'll advise you to do that I never did myself. Or if I do say them, they're coming out of somebody else's mouth who did them, and I'm repeating it, and it worked for them. Like Gary Vee stuff, you know. And Germs, like the whole making long-form content, cutting it into smaller content, and getting as much of it out there in as many different ways as possible. Gary Vee talks a lot about that. You can even go over and check. He has a specific, like, a slideshow thing on his website on how to do that, like the minutia on how to do that.
Yeah, you know? Get the ball rolling and you'll figure out your own way, though, because your way is always going to be the best way. But get some tidbits off other people, and you never know those ingredients you might put into your recipe. And there's also the fact that the long format content is more respectable. When you met some friends and you told them that you were doing a podcast, they didn't even have to fucking listen to it to respect it.
No, it was pretty incredible. I was very surprised to see that reaction, because usually, like, I don't know, it's weird. Like, I don't listen to podcasts a lot. I just don't. It's not a form of entertainment I enjoy. I don't like following it. I'd rather read a transcript of a podcast. I can read faster than two people can have a conversation. That's just the way I like absorbing information. I enjoy reading. I prefer reading. That's all I gotta say. So yeah, anyway, so when I said to these friends that I hadn't seen in, I don't know, 10 years that, hey, I'm hosting a podcast, what? You're hosting a podcast? What's it called? What did you do? How many episodes do you have? Whoa, you have 24 episodes? So, like, a whole day of content out there? And it's like, probably more. And they're like, whoa. Like, they were really impressed, even though it's not a podcast with content that they're particularly interested in.
And they're not going to,
None of them are artists, but they were pretty impressed by the fact that I was even doing that. Honestly, I'm kind of impressed by the fact that I'm doing that. If you go watch episode 1 where Germ ambushes me and, like, I wasn't ready to even be on camera yet, and, like...
We've come a long way.
Yeah.
But it's good for the business. These people who you met might actually buy an art piece, and part of the storyline that they'll tell people when they point to the wall is like, this is a successful artist. He has a podcast. You know, they'll be in their dialogue of the fucking painting. Oh, he has a podcast?
Hey, he has a podcast.
He's Canadian famous.
He plays guitar for Bret Hart. Fuck, look at this guy.
So keep in mind that when someone buys an art piece, they don't necessarily buy it strictly because of how beautiful it is. It's actually quite rare because you're gonna make beautiful art, but it's gonna sell like that because it's beautiful, right? What about all the other ones that are kind of like not your A game? They're not your A game, so you knock off a few bucks.
I don't think those ones are bought art only because it was beautiful. I think I sold art that was beautiful, no doubt about it. People thought it was beautiful, but there was more steps involved in the decision to press buy or to write to me. And
what I'm saying is the beautiful one, the A game, the A plus sells easily because it's an A game. But what sells all art is the story.
Most of the time. Whether it's a story you tell or one somebody makes up in their head upon seeing it.
Yes.
It's better if you tell. Because a lot of times people won't make up stories in their own heads that lead to buying it.
Well, if they follow you in your story, then they might.
Yeah.
Okay, but a story sells the art. And what I'm trying to get at is that even the ones that you're knocking off a few $100s because you don't think it's your absolute best piece of work, it will still sell because the story.
Sometimes some of my paintings that I like the least sell the fastest, and I'm always surprised. I'm like, wow, I didn't think that would sell. I thought that'd sit on my shelf for years, and it sold in 3 hours after I posted it. And some of the ones that I think will sell never sell or don't sell yet. You know, they're still on my wall or whatever. But you know, we've talked about the art bank concept before.
There's nothing wrong with that.
When you're an artist in it for the long haul, chances are as your career progresses over 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, your prices are consistently going to go up over that time. You know, you might put them down for a little while. Your gallery that you're working with closes and you need to liquidate some stuff. Social media is shit all of a sudden, and you want to sell some pieces, you'd rather sell some for less than none for more. Things like that might happen, but like on a linear curve over your career, your prices will probably always go up.
Mm-hmm.
So any pieces that don't sell, that only sell 5, 10 years later, they're going to sell for more than when you made them or when you were originally trying to sell them. So I consider all my art that doesn't sell as gaining interest in my art bank. And the more deposits I make in the art bank, the better that is for me down the line, because like say a gallery sees this podcast and sees this art behind me and they're like, yeah, those computer looking ones there, we really like those. We'd love you to do a show. Do you have enough to fill X amount of wall space? And I can say, yeah, I do. I have like some 8-footers. I have a 6-footer. Like I have about 40, 50 paintings in that style ready, and I can have 10 more ready in a week or two. You know, that might happen. But if I don't have those deposits in the art bank and they come up to me and like, hey, can you have 50 paintings ready in a week or two? What?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm overwhelmed. I can't do it. So like, you know, it's
or you try
whatever
to do it
situation. Yeah, or you try and do it and you burn out, or they're not your best work, and your gallery, the gallery will know because they'll see compared to the ones they wanted, and then like these ones are lesser quality. You know, so yeah. So yeah.
So, you know, always work on your craft. That was the
always work on your craft. That
was one of the point that we put at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Work on your craft, even though if social media is not letting it sell, doesn't mean that it's not going to turn around one day.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's ready, you'll be ready.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you got to tell yourself, and that's what you have to believe.
Mm-hmm. It's like at one point I had no clients for custom art. Then, man, people started hiring me a lot for custom mandala art, and I had an 8-month waiting list at one point. Now I haven't done custom mandala art in 6-8 months. So, you know, it had ups and downs, but like, you know, that 8-month waiting list could happen all of a sudden. Facebook could decide, fuck TikTok, we're losing all our people to TikTok. They're leaving Instagram and Facebook for TikTok. We want them back. And we're going to change our algorithms to give them that dopamine rush again from those likes. Because that's why they're on TikTok. They're getting that dopamine rush over there. So that could happen. Could happen tomorrow.
Yeah, well said.
So I don't know. So when it does, good. I have all this art to share. I have all this stuff. It's cool. It's awesome. I have products. I have like all this stuff. I go to my store, man. Look, I have a whole brand around my art. Not a lot of artists have that. It gives you the professional look.
Mm-hmm. If you're an artist, keep in mind that like it's gonna be better for you when you're 40.
Mm-hmm.
When you hit 40 and stuff like that, that's when it's way more respectable because there's less artists. When you're in your 20s, everyone's a fucking artist.
Yeah. Yeah, or a musician. Like,
they fall off. They fall off and they get other jobs and they completely give up on their dream. And if you hold up on your dream, even if you get a job and you never let it go, no one needs to know that at one point you got a job.
Yeah,
like the job you have now, in the future, no one needs to know that at one point you went and worked for a bit to keep it afloat. Yeah, if you continued painting, you painted the whole time.
Depends on the circumstance too, you know.
Yeah, I know, but you painted the whole time.
Yeah, I painted the whole time. Yeah,
take a small break, so you're always an artist.
Yeah, I'm always painting.
But when someone just gives up and says it's not going to work for me, and they just put it down, get rid of everything because it hurts their eyes to even be reminded of the failure,
the game closed.
Then that's when you're truly giving up.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I know countless people who've given up on whatever their dreams were at points in their life. You know, like how many guys did I know who played guitar in high school? Like pretty much every guy I hung around with, which, you know, 3 out of 10 guys I hung around with in school played guitar. Like 2.5 out of 10 guitar in college. Maybe like 0.1 out of 10 still can play guitar and has one and actually touches it from now and then, and it's not in a closet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a reason that I play the way I do, because I never stop touching it. I never stop, you know, giving it golden showers.
And that's what was the point of today's Germ D's living room, which was if you want to be a pro or you want to be Canadian famous or any type of famous, it has to do with getting up and working at that craft every day. It doesn't mean that you got to work 8 hours every day, but don't let a day slide by where you don't work on the thing that you love. Okay? Make sure you take time in your day to work on that craft. And after the days and the months and the weeks and the years and the decades pass by, you'll be absolutely floored with where you brought that craft.
Do take a day off if the thing you love is you're starting to question whether you love it. Then take a day off.
Oh my God! Don't take a day off either.
No, I had to, man. I had to. I reached burnout. I had to. When the thing I loved felt more stressful than loved, I didn't love it.
It was just an aspect of it because you could.
But it was the philosophical, spiritual side of being an artist where I had to step back from it and understand why I do it and get back to a point where it made me feel good to do it and to do all the marketing that went with it.
Here's my strategy: is I paint. Then I get kind of like, okay, I'm kind of got that out of the system. Then I draw. And then after I'm done drawing, I might make a shirt. Then I'm ready to paint again. And just by switching into those things, like I'm almost ready to go into make a shirt right now. I'm kind of done drawing. I've been drawing for a week. But those drawings are sketches for paintings. And sometimes, you know what? If you're really on a burnout, then just conceptualize in your mind about things. Do rough sketches. It doesn't have to be concrete paintings, but the craft.
For me personally,
sketching is still the craft.
Away from it for 2 months. And
to me, sketching is still the craft. Conceptualizing is still the craft. Thinking about color selections and palettes is still the craft. Going to the home hardware or whatever, looking at all the swashes of paint and just grabbing a couple and looking at a couple together, and then when you got 3, they're free, you leave with them and you put them on a wall and you say, one time I'm going to do a painting with these 4 colors, and you put them on your wall. That's part of the craft. And that's working on it.
I think in most art careers, there's going to be times, just like in a lot of athletes' art careers, where you work real hard to achieve something, and you might make it and then keep going and try and get to that next level or the next competition, and just somewhere along the line something happens. You get injured, you burn out,
or you reach the goal,
or you reach the goal. Either way, but something because there's always a next goal. So you reach the goal, great. Now there's the next one.
Well, no, that's what the episode was
somewhere
about.
Between reaching the goal and the next one, you might need to take a step back for your own personal sanity and like examine, like look, when a boxer gets beaten up in a match, they don't go train the next day. They recover, they examine what they did wrong and what they could do better the next time, then they go train with that extra knowledge. So that's what I did. I took 2 months off. I needed to look at what I was doing wrong, what I could be doing right, why I was feeling so burned out all the time. And I needed to change the way I did things. Now, I didn't need to stop doing the thing I loved. I needed to change the way I did it so I could love it again.
A boxer trains for an event. The event happens, win or lose. There's a dilemma. You wake up the next day. Yeah, you can take a little rest. You can take a little celebration. But the dilemma is the thing that you trained months for is now over. What do? You have to put another goal in front of you. Okay? Because if you don't put another goal in front of you and train for that next thing, then you're likely to give up. And that's the hardest thing in everything. Like, you set the goal that you want to be in a gallery in New York. What happens when you get in that gallery in New York? Is that it? You're done? You hang up your boots?
Well, yeah.
Or you set another goal and say, the next one, Paris, London. And then you strive for those ones.
No, you hang up your boots. It's the alien cowboy boots. You just hang them up. That's the art piece. These cowboy boots are alien cowboy boots. Tape them to the wall. Piece. I'm done. This shit's bananas. Fun art Basel, Miami.
That's what my episode was about today. Is that the goal that you strive to achieve? Once you achieve it, the saddest double-edged sword of all time is it can cause a depression. Whether you achieve it or you fail, it could cause a depression. And you need to.
That is true.
You need to understand that because once you achieve something, it doesn't make your tomorrow better. Tomorrow is going to be the exact same thing, except the tomorrow is going to be without the goal. Because
ideally, you never have like such a goal that's so
that you wake up and change the next day.
Well, no, I don't mean it that. I don't mean that way. So hopefully, like you don't have like this one goal and then after it, there's no next goal. Like I never operate that way. I always have a next goal and the next goal plan. There's no goal I reach and I'm like, oh, that's it. I'm done now. I'm depressed. I don't know what to do.
The reason why I retired, and we brought it up before this summer, was because one of my big goals was to do a mural for the festival in Montreal, for the big mural festival. Once I achieved that goal, that was a goal that took 3 years. When I started making art, it was to get to that point. So when I achieved it, I had to take a step back, like you're saying, and that's what retirement was. I still work during retirement. If you remember the retirement phase, I'm painting every day.
Yeah,
but
I didn't retire.
I'm just conceptualizing what the next goal should be for me, because I've achieved the big goal, and if I don't have another goal, it's my art career is going to suffer. I need to take it one step further, and that's what retirement was about. Was just figuring out what it was. And ultimately, it was to be a character, and that's what became of urban golf and all the things that preceded that. And I think that's what's grown my business even further, and will take it to new heights. Is the understanding that that art is sold through a story, and being an entertainer that tells a good story and makes people laugh will sell more art.
How long has Bret the Hitman Hart been known as Bret the Hitman Hart? 40 years or so?
Jesus Christ.
Imagine if Bret the Hitman Hart changed his name to like
the Perfect Executioner.
I don't know, anything else. Like he wouldn't like
he had multiple names.
I guess.
Yeah.
But everyone knows him as Bret the Hitman Hart. My point is, like,
a great name.
If you're Germ D, be Germ D. If you're Adam Millward, be Adam Millward. If you're like Jesse Sueda, be Jesse Sueda. If you're Harrison Phoenix, be Harrison Phoenix. If you're Colby Briggs, be Colby Briggs. Be whoever you are. Be the best version of you can be. Record it, share it.
Yeah.
Hopefully inspire people, and don't take things personally if people shit on you. Also, don't take things too personally if people are hugging you and giving you props all the time. Don't let it get to your head and build a big ego, but like, be grateful for it. And I think that that this episode of Arty Time was pretty awesome, man.
Episode 28.
Yeah, episode 28. There's a lot of good info in this one, and if you tuned in after the cowboy boots part, you got to rewind to find out about the aliens. So,
peace, y'all. Until next time. This has been Arty Time. Let's give him that new remix of the song. Arty Time. It's Arty Time. It's also excellent because it's Arty on.
Okay.
You gotta know the words.
Well, I didn't remix it, and this is the second time I've heard it. And the first time I heard it, I was singing the original version at the same time. I'm sorry.
It's always with the excuses.
It's always with the excuses.
Huh? All right, bye, guys.